Ladies and gentlemen, I have a strong feeling that today a Nintendo Direct for tomorrow has not been announced, right? It was too good to be true. Now there probably is a Nintendo Direct right around the corner still, but that does nothing for us right now. But don't worry, I have you guys covered. In this video, I have multiple big Switch 2 game leaks, rumors, updates, the news. I have everything that you're looking for, so let's go ahead and get right into this video. Sure, a new Nintendo Direct, that would be a very welcome treat, because Nintendo needs to do something, truly. It's like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Yes, we have some games, but those first-party games, not so much. But there was the big rumor that a Nintendo Direct would happen this week or the first week of March. And you know, the first week of March, I'll actually be coming back from a trip, and I swear, every time I'm on a plane, whether it be to another state or another country, there's always a Nintendo Direct. So now that actually makes sense. The universe gave me the answer already. There's in fact a Nintendo Direct the first week of March. But don't worry, I have you guys covered in this video. We really have some very exciting Switch 2 game leaks. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would truly mean the world to me. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter so we can keep these communities growing. And let's go and get right into this one. So as always, let's start with some of the smaller updates right out the gate. We have Assassin's Creed Shadows for the Switch 2 getting a pretty substantial update today. I think it's called 1.1.8, and Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Switch 2 was already very impressive. Like, whatever Ubisoft is doing over there, I feel like they have a little laboratory where they have a bunch of developers smoking crack, just going to town on developing these Switch 2 ports, and they're coming out pretty good over there. So yeah, this was already pretty impressive, but now it got a bigger update where the graphics and textures are looking better. I think the frame rates might be more stable or whatever. But if you're on the fence about buying Assassin's Creed Shadows, this might be the time to do it. Now, speaking of games that got official Switch 2 versions, we had Skyrim, right? Me personally, Skyrim on the Switch is the only way I ever played this game. I played it on my Switch OLED. I really enjoyed myself for like 20 hours, and you may ask, well, why did you not continue playing? Well, I'm glad you asked, because a game-breaking bug happened to me. Is that Nintendo's fault? No. This is just the Bethesda jank we all know and love. So I thought about playing it on the Switch 2 when we got an official Switch 2 version, but it was probably like the laziest port you could possibly put over, so much that the whole internet was like, this is even bad for Bethesda. So we have a new Skyrim Switch 2 update, which is 1.2, I believe, and now it is 60 frames per second, which is like, that's almost a bare minimum, I feel like. There's a few other things as well. Essentially, they gave us what we should have got like day one. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Now I want to get a smaller potential leak out of the way. This probably means absolutely nothing. We see this happen more and more, where maybe interns are the people doing this job, or maybe they're just not paying attention to what they're doing. So on the Nintendo News app on your Switch 2, they have a little Bethesda promotion. And in this Bethesda promotion, they show the Skyrim character, they show the character from Wolfenstein 2, and they also show the Doom Slayer. But this Doom Slayer is not from Doom 2016 or Eternal. This is the Doom Slayer skin from Doom the Dark Ages. So maybe Bethesda is just letting you know, like, hey, Doom the Dark Ages is coming over, or this could potentially be a big mistake. And I'm leaning towards it being a mistake, but you never know, this could come true. And regardless if this is true or not, you know, this is like one of those games that 100% are eventually going to come over, and this is a game I would like to play on my Switch 2. Now that we got, sorry, I'm looking at this stupid little hair right here. It's cringing me out. I feel like I look like a Pokemon trainer or something. It looks so stupid, man. What is going on? Now I look like I'm bald. I guess bald is better than looking like a Pokemon trainer. Now that we got some of these smaller updates out of the way, sorry, now I'm thinking about Pokemon trainers. Now that we got some of the smaller updates out of the way, let's get into some official news, then a leak, and then potential leaks coming from Nintendo themselves. So I'll be honest, I don't know anything about this game. I've seen like the title a couple of times. It's a game called No Rest for the Wicked. I'm pretty sure this is coming out in the next couple of months or something, and it looks pretty cool, right? It looks like a strategy RPG or something like that. Personally, I really enjoy RPGs, JRPGs, strategy RPGs, tactical, all that good stuff. So maybe this will be something I will play. But if I was interested, the only way I could play it is on other consoles. Well, at least until we got this new update. So Thomas Mahler, which is the CEO and creative director of Moon Studios, which is the people who made Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisp, showed images of early porting work for No Rest for the Wicked on the Switch 2. It appears that a Switch 2 port has gone from being a mere consideration to a project actively in development. And whether this game comes out and it's amazing and you enjoy it and we all pick it up and play it or not, like, that's kind of irrelevant. The whole thing that makes me excited here, we're seeing this more and more where it was almost a thought, could we maybe get our game on the Switch 2? Probably not. It'd be too taxing. And then it's like, well, maybe, we see these other games, maybe we could. We still don't know. To, yeah, this is just happening for almost every game we thought was impossible. And I'm not saying No Rest for the Wicked was ever impossible, but we're just seeing it more and more to where every single game is getting prioritized for the Nintendo Switch 2. And that just makes me very excited. Now, speaking of games that could potentially come to the Switch 2, there's a new game that came out in the past week or two. You may have heard of it or you may have not. Now, the crazy thing is, this game is dominating. I think it only might be on Steam currently, and it is dominating the Steam charts. And I read a report earlier that it did better than Hades 2, which is kind of crazy to think about. Is this true? Is it not? I don't know. But the game is called Mewgenics. So as far as I know, it's like a game where you like breed cats, and it's a roguelite, and you just keep playing it and have a lot of fun. People are saying it's extremely addictive. I don't know much about it, right? I've just read a couple articles, seen a little bit of gameplay. Because it's only on Steam, it's not something that ever even crossed my mind. But allegedly, the game is doing so good, and then obviously they want it on consoles as well. Mewgenics console release is in the works, and the Switch 2 is currently the front runner. That is awesome, man. Whenever you think of like little indie games, there's one console that always pops up in my mind, and that is the OG Switch. It became the home of the indie games, right? There is a plethora on there. There's something for everybody. So why would the Switch 2 be any different? Well, it wouldn't be. So I find this pretty interesting. And then also, it almost just like fits the aesthetic of the Switch 2, right? Like if this game never came out for Steam and it came out only on the Switch 2, you would just think it was personally made for the Switch 2. So now I want to go over an update or a leak or whatever you want to call it from Nash Weedle. And I have to say, he was the person saying like a Nintendo Direct could happen this week. And it still could happen, but it's not looking like that. But then they also said the first week of March. So I'm not going to go out and say, look, they said it was happening in February and it didn't happen. Why are you still talking about what they say? Because they gave you two options, right? So if it doesn't happen the first week of March now, then you say, look, you said something, it didn't happen. I'm turning away and I'm giving you the cold shoulder. I'm not at that point yet. And this is regarding Kingdom Hearts. So I'll take any Kingdom Hearts news I can personally get. So I can't remember who was the first person to say a Kingdom Hearts 2 remake was coming, and then a bunch of people said it's not happening, it looks fake, it's probably fake. Then I seen some official artwork today, or what was allegedly official artwork, and it was 100% without a doubt some of the fakest shit I've ever seen. It reminds me of like early 2000s, 2010s, like fake game leaks. It was just pretty bad. So Nash Weedle is responding to that. Regarding the Kingdom Hearts remake, I already commented when the news broke that I had no information. Afterward, I got access to the images and some data, but I couldn't verify them either, so I didn't say anything. Still, I think there's something odd about this. I'll keep an eye on it. But then they say I'll take the opportunity to confirm again that the Kingdom Hearts collection will be available natively on the Nintendo Switch 2. So that's like the second or third time they've doubled, or I guess tripled down on this. So this is something I really think we could see at that next Nintendo Direct, whenever the hell that is, and that would make me pretty happy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have not one, but two potential game leaks for the Switch and Switch 2. And where are these coming from? Well, they're coming from Nintendo. Yeah, you probably heard of that company. And the way I was able to find these are new trademarks. You used to be able to just search the word Nintendo on the trademarks website, do a couple filters, and see everything, but they changed it, so now it's a little bit more difficult, but I was still able to find a couple things. Number one, we have Dr. Mario Miracle Cure. The application filing date for this was November 7th, 2025. I don't know much about this game, besides that it was a 3DS game. I've never played it. I don't even think I personally know anybody who has played it. I'm sure they have, but it's never really a game that comes up in conversation. So I find this interesting. I feel like this would be an easy port to port over to the Switch and the Switch 2. It's a Mario game. Maybe they release this right after the Mario movie. It takes them essentially no work, right? Hopefully, if this does see the light of day and turns out to be a real game, this will be one of those games we hear about variable pricing. Yeah, $40. That would be pretty cool. If this is $60 or $70, I'm crowdfunding flights to Japan, and we're going there and we're raising hell, because they could not keep getting away with that. Now, we are getting ahead of ourselves. You know, Dr. Mario, it's cool. It's a fun little puzzle game, and I would actually be pretty happy if this does show up. Now, the other one I have is very, very interesting. This one is for Pokemon Moon. The application filing date was April 4th, 2025. Now, the reason why this one is so interesting to me, the registration date is February 17th, which is the day I'm recording this video. February 17th. That means this is going live soon. And what do we have up on the horizon? We have a Pokemon Presents on the 27th. That is in 10 days. I feel like the 3DS, while it was a fun generation and it was great and the games still hold up incredibly well, Nintendo would love to resell a bunch of those games, right? Like however much they sold on the 3DS, if they were to port them over to the Switch and Switch 2, it would probably triple the number of the original sales. I know Pokemon Moon and Sun got Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun, so maybe those would come over some way somehow, or maybe they will make some of these Pokemon from these games DLC in Generation 10. Maybe this has something to do with Generation 10, but I just find the registration date being today and a Pokemon Presents being in 10 days a little suspicious, right? But ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most. So in the comments below, let me know what you guys are thinking. I record these videos the night before they come out, so maybe a Nintendo Direct got announced. I doubt it, but it could have happened. But probably not. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, if you could do me a favor, it takes a second, hit a like and subscribe on the way out. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter so we can keep our cool communities growing. Consider becoming a channel member. I have some really cool member stuff coming up very soon, giveaways and other little treats. And you guys know me, I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace.